All right, guys, welcome back to the Drunk Sober podcast. No matter if we're drunk, sober, or hungover, we're here to talk. Obviously, me and Bill, we got two very special guests with us today. We got Sam and Manny. Sam is the owner of BeTheWondering, and you have a new company out too, or a new brand name for it, correct?
You're wearing it, buddy.
Yeah.
Branded
Two
Threads.
different companies, yeah,
okay.
Branded Threads, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How you guys doing today?
Wonderful.
Doing good, bud. How
Doing
about you?
good? I'm here, ready to talk to you guys.
Let's
Learn
go.
some more shit about you guys.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to get into like the why you got into this industry that you're in.
Let's hear from the beginning. How did it all come about?
Okay, so from the very beginning, I've been in love with two things, clothing and reading and writing. So went to college and majored in English. So naturally there was the writing and reading part. So I was like, the next part is clothing. So I graduated college. I think it was like the second week of May. I graduated on like a Saturday. The Sunday I flew to California to work for the Racer X brand. It's a motocross brand. They sell like magazine subscriptions, but they also have a clothing line with it. And that's when I started to realize that like there's a future in this. So I would do the inventory. I noticed like shirts felt different. I would just thought kind of like a shirt is a shirt, but then I started to feel like shirts fit different, shirts feel different, print feels different, and we can get all into that and like the difference of printing and stuff. But from there, when I would go to a race, I'd be gone for 4 days. I'd come home for 3 days, gone for 4 days, home for 3. And it was every week, different city, all throughout the U.S. Then from there, I came home, did construction for like 3 months, and then started working at an award and engraving business. So we didn't do like any clothing at the time, but we started to do trophies and like corporate awards and that kind of stuff, plaques, all that. And from there, we wanted to bring in embroidery. So that's when I started to like learn what embroidery was and learn about, obviously there's a difference in screen printing and embroidery, but like truly what the difference was and the different equipment that you needed for it. So during that time, I was like, I want to do screen printing, and the space that we were in wasn't really like suited for screen printing and stuff. So it just really wasn't an option. So at that time, I realized two things were going on. I wanted to get into screen printing, and I was like the most depressed and lost I've ever been in my life, like straight up.
At what age was this?
This was like, so I started that job at 22, and this was like 6 months after that probably. This would have been like 2016. I graduated in 2015, so like 2016. When all this came about, I mean, I was doing good at my job and like things were rolling good. We were like learning the industry because it started like a month before I came into it. So like nobody knew anything really on what the business was. But it was a really good crash course for me. It was like the house's money. I wasn't spending my own money, and I got to learn how to run a business. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity. But there was just more that I wanted, like out of life and out of my career, I guess. So at that time, that's when I started to like conceptualize how can I start a business. So I did like ghostwriting for a long time, like where I would write for different companies and people, and it was basically kind of like I don't really know the word.
Were you writing for like books or like
No.
for, like quotes and stuff like that?
No, more so like just like articles. So I started writing for there. I can't remember what the website name is, but I would write for like any prompt. They would send me a prompt, and like I would research it, and then I would write it, and then they would put their name on it. And I'm like, well, this kind of sucks at the end of the day. Like I'm getting paid, but like I want my name on it.
Yeah, how's that work, ghostwriting? Like you don't get credit for that?
No, like
So-
they're paying you to like not put your name on it really.
Oh.
So you're just having like, you're writing it, but like the big publisher for that article will get the name for it.
Correct, or a person sometimes, or whatever it would be. I mean, it's like songwriting, you know.
How do you
how
get
long
into
were you-
that? Like how do you get into ghostwriting? Like
They just have like a website that you go on and you just kind of like accept it or you decline it.
except like a job.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
okay.
an open concept where there's like thousands of prompts
Oh,
that
wow.
you can go through, and they're listed. It's kind of like how people do surveys. Like
yeah.
it'll tell you like, you know, this may take you like X amount of time and it's worth this much money and this is the word count that we need. And basically, a lot of it was just for like SEO purposes. They just need to fill that web page out. So they need like 1,000 words, they need 500 words, or they need X amount of words.
Your name's not on that at all?
Not at all, no.
How long were you doing that for?
Hundreds of articles. I did that for nearly a year, I would say, like 8 months probably to a year. And then I was like, okay, I want my name on it. So then this brand called My Protein, they're like supplement brand and like fitness brand. I got in with them doing an article. I did the first article. They used like an outside company. I think it was called like Accelerated or something, but they like subcontracted through them, hired me to do some prompts. This time, first time that my name was going to be on it, and I didn't realize like it was as big of a deal as it was. It actually reached like 1.2 million people. So I was like, holy shit, this is something I want to continue to do. So I did like, I would say probably like 20 prompts for them. They were paying at the time. I mean, in retrospect, it's shit money, but still like getting my name on it was a big deal. But then I also just started to realize like I can continue to do that and also like do my own prompts, put my own name on it. So then that's when I really started to like conceptualize BeTheWondering. And also like I said before, like I was just like very depressed with everything going on. Like I just wasn't meeting my potential. Like I wasn't where I knew I could be. So at that time, learned how to build websites. I'd worked on the website at the job I was at, so I knew how to run like a Wix website, which is
like the templates, like you just use like whatever
it's
the
like
code,
Squarespace.
like default code
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah,
It's all drag and drop.
Yep.
Super easy. So I learned how to do that, and then from there transitioned into I did the business I worked at, and then the owner actually had another business, so I did it for that business as well. And then I was like, I can do this for myself. Fairly cheap. Wix is cool because they let you work on your own stuff for free for a long time. Yeah. But it will be like .wixspace.com.
Yeah, you get their like
generic,
whatever organization in your .com.
Right. So then I worked on it for like 6 months, I would say. And like if you looked at the back end now, it is like so complex because I would build things just to teach myself how to do them. Like there's like, I don't know, say there's like 20 web pages that are actually active. There's probably like 200 on the back end that I would just like keep teaching myself how to do it. I would like work 9 to 5 and then I would come home and do that until like 1 in the morning and just repeat over and over again. So then from there, I got to the point where I'm like, okay, how am I going to make money with this? And I was just going to put like ads and sponsors and stuff. But then I saw how long it takes to get like $100 because you can't cash out on Google and AdSense until you hit $100.
I know about that.
Yeah, so I was like, nah, this takes absolutely forever. Like I've put like thousands of hours into this. Like you know, I need to make some money. So that's when I came up with the idea of like, oh, I want to know how to screen print, and I want to create something that I know can actually make money, which would be a clothing brand. And I want to do something with it involving mental health. So when I first launched, I donated 25% to mental health research. So still, even to this day, the places that I donate to are Brain and Behavior Research Foundation, the National Institute of Mental Health, and the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I've done a couple other campaigns in that time with different organizations, but those are like the main 3 I do it with. So back to the whole thing. So I launched on September 10th. 2017, which is World Suicide Day. It was fitting. And
the launch of BeTheWondering,
yeah, was on there. So that one I specifically did for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And I was like, I'm so happy that it's like a huge topic now, but at the time, like it was so taboo.
It was very low.
Dude,
like,
it's wild. Like people would be like, are you okay? Like all the time. I'm like, yeah, I think I just deal with like the same shit everybody else is. But like they think they think I want to kill myself and stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm just like, I don't know what direction I'm going in my life and stuff. And especially, again, like I'm happy it's becoming this way, but it's very taboo for like a man to express this thing.
Exactly.
You know, to not be okay.
Yeah.
So, since then, I've had like hundreds of guys that like, if you knew this person, you would be like, there's no way that they're like upset or have a soft side about them, but like they talk to me about it. Which
They
is
reach
cool.
out to you? Like people reach out to you?
Like, yeah, multiple times a week.
Oh.
Like still even, yeah.
That's cool.
Which it's very cool that I can like help and give them advice on like how to go about it and stuff, but I'm not a therapist at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So
And you
tell
got your
them
own
that
life going still.
Yeah,
you
of
gotta,
course.
yeah.
You can only give the best advice you know.
I can
stuff
give,
like that,
which
yeah.
is just go to therapy. That's
Yeah.
the best advice I can give, honestly.
So what made you choose BeTheWondering as the name?
Well, every business that I've started or want to start, it always starts with a domain search because I'm not going to pay like crazy money.
Yeah, you can get domains for like $10,
$10.
$2.
Yeah,
like, I
literally.
know.
And like, I don't want to start a business and then somebody already have that name and I need to buy them out for like whatever. I mean, it could be like $100,000. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do
no,
that.
yeah. Certain like words that are domains that are like simple words could be worth a lot more in domain
Oh,
because it's just a simple search term that would pop up.
I think like the biggest screen printing like supply store right now, they're called Ryanette, but their website is also screenprinting.com. They paid $500,000 like in like 2004. Like that long
For that
ago.
name?
For that
Gosh.
name, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think that was the year, but regardless, I
Yeah.
know that that's what they paid. So I think the very first name I had was the Mind Blogger.
Mind Blogger.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's when I was gonna like make money through AdSense and stuff, and then I still own the domain actually. I think maybe it expired, but I owned it for a while. From there, then I started just looking at ones, and then people would always call it like BeTheWondering, like WANDERING. So I own that too. So like,
Okay.
if you type in BeTheWondering, it just redirects you back to BeTheWondering.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
But I just conceptualizing the idea really of what it was, and it felt like a good name, and then like it's open-ended and it's curious. You're like, what is
Yeah.
that? So that's kind of what I was searching for through it. That's how I came up with the name. Bought the domain, snagged the email addresses, made a logo.
Yeah, how'd the
No,
start of
yeah.
the logo come to mind with the mountains and
Yeah, so like with Racer X, when I was with them, like right after I graduated college, I was out west a lot, and that's the first time I've been out there. And I was like, dude, this is where I belong, like the mountains and shit, I love it. Obviously, I'm not living there,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I love it, and like I love everything about it. And like still, any chance I get, like I was just hiking, like, well, I was at the Grand Canyon like 3 weeks ago. So anytime I can go out west, I'm definitely gonna be hiking.
so back to Racer, is it Racer X, right?
Yeah, Racer
okay.
X, yeah.
How did you get that connection to get out there?
It was just an internship.
Just internship?
Yeah, I just took an internship. It was like,
Was it through college? College got you that kind of, or you just straight up applied?
yeah, I applied, and one of my friends, who's like still my friend Zach, he had worked there, doing. I don't know if he worked there actually, but he did like photography for them. Like he would like actually get on the track and take pictures of the riders and stuff, and he would get in the magazine, and he met the whole crew and just kind of like told him I was like a good guy and work hard and stuff, and then I interviewed for it and got the position, and it was all like super quick. Like I literally graduated and like flew to California the next morning.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
How long were you out in California?
That was like 4 days, and then I
Oh,
come home for
You
3
just
days.
go
you
back
know,
and
that's
forth.
Back
okay.
and forth, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I think like I went like California, came back, California again, back, Colorado, like Tennessee. It's a ton, honestly. There's one that's pretty close, High Point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
worked that event. That's like an hour away. But through that, because that was a position, it was just like 4 and 3. But I would come in and do like some of the inventory stuff, and that's when I really got into like the clothing stuff and really feeling like I could show you guys, but like I had no idea the difference between like what is plastisol ink and what is water-based ink, and the difference is just when you feel it. Like if you feel ink that's plastisol, like you can hear it a little bit, but if you do water-based, like you can't feel it at all. It just feels like the shirt. And they did a lot of water-based printing, and I'm like, the fuck is this? Like this doesn't feel scratchy, this feels good, and it just felt like that retail feel that you feel in like a PacSun or something like that. So that's where I started to like realize like, oh, there's a lot more to this industry than I know it is.
So I know we all went to like the same school,
Yeah.
and in school we had like the one class that like kind of did the screen printing or in that like genre. Did you notice any like interest then?
Never took
No,
the
you
class,
just
no.
oh, you never took the
I
class.
never took the class.
I thought it was required.
No, I didn't take it. I mean, that stuff changes so much too. I think like the year I graduated, or I'm sorry, after my freshman year, like 5 teachers retired. So it was like big transitionary period everywhere. But we did like lettering.
Lettering.
Yeah. Like we had letters, like literally like capital letters. And then we would have to we would get graded on how well we did the lettering.
Huh.
Like writing
Yes, like lettering, like writing, like
in high school?
yes, like writing your name and shit. Yeah.
Today we're gonna work on the capital A.
Yeah, for real. And it was like it was the classroom right beside where Jan was. Let's see, we're going back. So I launched Jan on September 10th, and then immediately like it was a success. But I was like, I don't know how to print a shirt.
Oh yeah. So yeah, get into that. The beginning startup.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do this. So, YouTube University taught me everything. That's why we're sitting in the shop right now, honestly.
That's why we're here right
It's a
now.
beautiful
too.
That's why we're
shop,
here.
too.
Yeah, thank you. But I bought this press online. So there's like a ton of how it all works. Like you have different heads and different platens. That's like how it all works. You spin the carousel and everything. So I started with 4 head single station. So what that means is you just literally have like one station that you're in front of the whole time, and the top has 4 heads. I mean, I know like the viewers can't see it, but like that one is 6'4", so it makes like a little bit
We
of
could
sense
put a
to
clip
you.
in of it. Like,
Okay. So that's like a 6'4". So the top 6 would rotate. You can do 6 different screens with 4 stations. So I started with a 4-1. And I bought it from this company called Anthem Screen Printing in California. And I would call them like every day and talk to them for 45 minutes. And like looking back on it, I owe them like dinner or something. They would literally, I mean, the press was like $500, but like that's nothing at all compared to like how much stuff is in the industry. So like they gave me so much of their time for like the little amount of money that I actually gave them. It's crazy. But they taught, I knew I wanted to do that water-based stuff, right? Because like I learned about eraser X. I'm like, oh, this is soft. I want to do this. Learned what it was, and I also found out that you can cure it without having a conveyor dryer, which is what that is. And like I started the brand in my childhood bedroom, so like I had like 10 by 10 to work with maybe to like make it all work.
Yeah.
And this press was already taken up like, I don't know, 2 by 3 of that 10 foot, plus like anything else I would have in there, screens and whatnot. So just would call them, go on YouTube, trial and error. It's printed very badly at the beginning, naturally. And then I kind of like would see it working, and I'm like, oh shit. Like I would get like the littlest inch, and I'd be like, oh my God, like that would like reignite the fire all over again. But you could actually dry those. You can print it, and like you hit it with a heat gun just to dry to the touch. And then you can throw it in a dryer, and then it can go in the cycle, like a regular dry cycle, and then you can wear it.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
so,
crazy.
yeah, it's wild. So from there, just would keep printing. I went to a class in Fort Worth, Texas, and learned how to. It was like a intense like boot camp 3-day training thing. At this point, I had like 10 grand in my name saved, and I came home the very next. I landed on like Sunday, and Monday I bought 8 grand worth of equipment. I was like, I'm all in.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, so I spent like everything I had on it.
Risks you gotta take.
That's absolutely 100%. Like if I could tell anybody anything, like you have to put up with what you hate today to have like the dream that you actually want tomorrow. 100%.
Yep.
I have a different way to say it, but I don't know, it's podcast friendly. Like you gotta suck today's dick to get to your tomorrow's dream.
All right.
That's what it
Makes
is.
sense.
Yeah.
That's what it
Makes
is,
sense.
though,
So
honestly.
yeah.
It sucks, but if you like truly want to get something, like I knew that about myself. Like I wasn't the type to work, like if the owners of the business I worked for ever see this, like I'm sorry. I literally would like think of any way that I could make extra money, or like work on something that wasn't work while I was at work.
100%.
Yeah,
I do that daily
that's what
too.
you need to. That's like a good mindset to even like have
Yeah.
like by yourself.
Well,
Like you did that on your own.
Not for him.
Not for him.
Why would I?
No, I don't want you to have that mindset.
Yeah, there's nothing up here.
I did that. I started
No.
doing that since I like was like a junior in high school. Started thinking about stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
what can
I'm
I do
always
outside of everything I do right now?
You always got to think outside the box, and that's always what I'm thinking of. It's just random stuff that no one's done before, or even thought about.
100%. And like on top of that though, like something that I've learned a lot of is like you need to truly learn in business what R&D means, and it's not research and development. It's rip off and duplicate. Like find a good idea and find out how you can make it better.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how
That's
it is.
what
Put
it
your
is.
spin on the things.
100%. Like I'm not the only screen printer in Washington County, and I know that. I'm not even the only screen printer in Pittsburgh. Like that's way different, but I'm the best. Like I know that I am.
Good.
And like
Then-
you can check my work. Like
So after you started the company and everything like that, you started actually getting. When did you start realizing this is going to be something like
so that like I invested the money that I had.
that 8,000?
Yeah, $8,000. Came back, tried to like move the equipment in to the bedroom, and like it wouldn't fit. And I didn't. I mean, now I've had to learn all of this because of this building, but like I didn't know what the fuck 220 was. Like, what the fuck is 220? And like I just plugged that shit in an outlet. It didn't work like that.
Oh yeah, the voltage.
Yeah,
Blowing
yeah,
shit up in the
right.
house.
Like, yeah, I would trip breakers all the time. I had like a flash dryer, it's like that little green one. It would trip it all the time, literally. So I ran it through an extension cord, like outside the house onto a different outlet because it wouldn't trip
That's
it.
awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
dude. Shout out to my mom and Dave. They put up with so much shit. Like it's crazy. But
They're
yeah.
They're watching TV downstairs. They're in their
Just
living room.
fucking-
Out.
I mean, for real, yeah. I would like trip all the
Just
shit.
running the dryer again.
And then like I had a smaller version of that, but like I got the dryer and put it in the garage, and I was like, oh, I got to move this operation outside. But then like it didn't have heat or air conditioning, so it was fucking miserable, dude.
So this is still the start of BeTheWondering. Like at this
Yeah.
point, you're just like all in. You went in
Yeah.
and just got all this stuff, and you're doing it out of your house. You're home.
Yep, 100%, and just printing shirts, dude, and getting them out as fast as I could, and that was tough because the way that like clothing works is you need to spend $200 to get free shipping. That's just
To get
even
blanks?
still.
Like
yeah, to get
blanks,
blanks,
yeah.
right? So I would like really try to get to that, which is probably why I started putting an emphasis on having like different deadlines. So I would put like on sale for 2 weeks, or like running a campaign for like a week or 2 weeks, because then I would know like I'm gonna hit the minimum, because I mean shipping could be like $40.
Yeah.
Like that kills any profit. And like when you're donating, that just like eats up even that much more.
Exactly.
You know? So that's definitely why I had the push to like do all the campaigns, and all that made me super hungry to keep selling more shit, because I didn't want to spend that $40 on shipping, honestly.
Yeah.
So the very first time you put out like clothing, was it you had it set that you were going to donate most of the
25%
proceeds?
was
to
what
the
it-
So
pro-
that
started
started
at,
from
yeah.
the gate. Like you
Yeah,
just-
right off the get-go was 25%, and then like 2 years later I changed it to 50%, and that's what it is now. It's half of the profits go to mental health research. So from there, then I would kind of just ask people, like beg them to believe in me basically, and print for their company or their business or whatever they had. And I guess they just saw like the hunger I had. I mean, that's like honestly, like I don't really, like you said, I don't really know you guys that much, but like if you're hungry enough to come here and do something that you're passionate about, I'm gonna give you a chance every time. And like Manny knows, and like everybody in my life, like I bitch about not having enough time all the time, and like not having enough time to get everything done. So like if you're gonna commit to me that you're gonna give me your time, then I'm gonna give you my time.
Appreciate
I
it.
respect
that's-
that too.
of
Yeah, that's the way it
course.
should be too.
That's how I try to be with like people bitching me all the time that I don't respond. But like if I'm with somebody, like you have me, like you have my fucking time. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be on my phone and shit like that. Or like if I'm watching a movie, like I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be on my phone.
You're focusing on what's going on at
Yeah,
the
on
time.
like what it is.
Yeah, right in front of you.
100%. And like I spent just a lot of time like during that time of not really knowing what I wanted to do and stuff, just wasting my, like a lot of people obviously like wouldn't agree with me, and I have like a I'm very, very, very hard on myself and like try really hard to be disciplined. So a lot of people probably wouldn't agree that I'm wasting my time, but like just being on social media and shit like that, like I really try not to now unless I try to like pop in, pop out. Like TikTok's so fucking addicting though, dude.
That's why I
don't have
It's the
TikTok.
algorithm.
Shit, dude.
Every podcast we talk about algorithms every single
Yeah.
time. Like,
That's I don't use TikTok.
Really?
Yeah.
he doesn't
Like,
have
I
to.
honestly,
deleted it, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm tired of this. The only thing I use
I've
TikTok
downloaded
for-
it before, but like I've never
The only
used TikTok.
the only
Yeah.
thing that I benefit from TikTok is it puts you in the community that like you're kind of into.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, dude.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Like
It's so
you're-
good. Like it knows exactly what I want
like
to see.
exactly like
Yeah.
my community. I
weirdly
see everything
knows
I'm interested
exactly
in.
what you want to see.
Yeah, because it's fucking listening all day.
When I was in school, all my friends would have TikTok, and they just sit there like my brother was just scrolling through TikTok literally 24/7, and I'm like,
Gave in.
what are you like
Now look
doing
at
with
now
all
look
that
now
shit?
look at
Like,
the
you can't
females.
be-
Look at females wasting their time. At,
Oh
like,
yeah, but they're making
TikTok.
money off of it.
Oh well,
and shit,
okay,
dude.
that yeah.
But like, I
A lot
always
aren't,
told
though.
myself, I'm like, it's fucking wasting time. Like, I'm not
It
getting
is.
TikTok. And
I
then
see enough of it on Instagram and YouTube and everything like that too. So it wasn't.
Dude,
it
I
wasn't
got
worth
bored
it.
as- I got bored as fuck one day, so I downloaded TikTok, and I'm like, dude,
That's where you messed up.
This is
bud.
where
That's where you
it's
messed
at.
up, bud.
I
like this is
know.
where it's at. And then like 2 weeks ago, I realized like I could be doing something else, but I'm just scrolling on TikTok. Like
Yeah.
I could be reading a book or something like that. So
I don't want to get off topic too much, but about that, like the same situation, like the short clip things, like that is what is people like addicted to. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
everybody has short attention spans nowadays, so like they're gonna watch those small.
It's there.
things.
You're like, because
Anytime you send him a video, pre him deleting it, and it had a sidebar, he fucking skipped it.
yeah,
If
dude,
it was
if,
longer than 30 seconds, he didn't watch it.
if I saw the little dot at the
Exactly.
bottom and it started going, I wouldn't watch it. I just watched like the first like
That's
3 seconds,
That's
and I'm
how
like-
it is, and that's how algorithms are working right now.
yeah,
you
and I'm
gotta
like,
be.
It's
I'm not
good.
watching.
Why do you think
that.
Vine was so big? You had 7 seconds to make gold.
Right.
Now you have a minute. So it's
Dude,
just
now, no, TikToks can be like 15 minutes long.
Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
They
They can be
know
so
that?
long.
Like,
TikToks can be
legit
long,
videos.
and I'll be so invested. I'll watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Dude, they sneak that shit in too, because it was like 30 seconds, right? And then it
Yeah.
went up to a minute, and I'm like, I could fuck with a minute.
Yeah.
And then it was 3 minutes, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like a minute. And then I realized, like, oh,
You're
this
just sitting
is.
here for 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, I noticed like it was longer, but it didn't. It didn't have like a scroll bar, and then they added a scroll bar, and I'm like, oh, this is sweet. I can see
That
how
was a
long
good
it is.
feature.
Yeah, like you could scrub and stuff. And then now, dude, there's like 15-minute videos.
Jeez.
And then I'm like,
Dude.
what the fuck? Yeah,
That's insane.
I'll watch for like 4 minutes, and I'll be like it's still that same gauge. I'm like, this has to have been 3 minutes. So I'll like start to scrub, and I see it's like 15. I'm like, you
No.
motherfuckers.
No
You
way.
got me. You got me.
That's
good.
so funny.
Never got
You're just
me.
watching YouTube
Yeah,
video at
because
that
they're
point.
I
so-
stopped them at the beginning.
They're so good at algorithms that they probably saw, like, you saw if there's a scrub, you fucking pass it. So they're like, don't show them that video.
It's
Don't.
They'll put like a fuse, like 30 seconds, and then they'll hit you with this like 15-minute long, and then like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and they see if you
anytime
skip
I would
it.
get,
Yeah.
like it got to the point that anytime I would get a video with the scrub, someone would have to send me it, because if I'm just sitting there on my For You page, it wouldn't be there.
Most of the time, it's
So-
based off of what you watch. So if you start watching all like the whole video at 30 seconds, and you start watching like the ones they throw in there, and you watch all of it, it'll
They'll
start
start
throwing
throwing
longer
more
ones
in.
in.
That shit is
That's
That's like
crazy, dude.
YouTube. That's what
I was,
YouTube.
I was laying in
exactly.
bed,
It is like that.
like before I was about to go to sleep. I'm just laying there, and I seen shit about saw shit about like Russia and Ukraine, just like a war, and I watched one video, and then the next video was the same thing. The
Oh, and
next
it's all
10,
like that.
the next 10 videos.
You ever-
Because I watched the full one video.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that.
The next 10 videos
Dude,
was that thing, and then every time I'd see one, I'd scroll. I was
Just
sitting
trying to get
there
rid of it, yeah.
for literally scrolling for like 5 minutes until
You ever get
nothing.
this? You ever
just
get this
popped up.
experiences where like you'd be talking to somebody like right here, talking about some topic or something, and then like I'll be like, he'll be like, you ever see this? You ever hear about this? Like, no, I haven't. And then
Oh,
like
and then it's-
I'll
And then
go on there.
you
It's
go
like,
into
bro,
Facebook,
what-
and it's like
it happened.
They've been
It
doing that
happened
for
to me at
years.
work. Like,
I remember just having Facebook, and like I'd be talking about like some random nonsense, like Bose headphones, and like
In the
an
bag.
ad for Bose headphones comes
no, bro.
up.
The
Like,
craziest story
You're
at
gonna have
work.
to clip this because it's guaranteed I'm gonna have a fucking Bose
Yeah.
headphone in like a day.
Hey, the craziest
Just send
thing.
a screen record of
Literally
it. Yeah.
of it.
The craziest thing was like that happened to me like 2 weeks ago at work. My like coworker was like talking to me about a conspiracy theory. Like I was like, no, I never heard of that. I go on TikTok like an hour or two later, same day. I'm like, bro, look at this shit. Like what? Like I never even heard of this shit till you just said it like an hour ago. Like what?
Dude.
It's nuts.
I'm still getting. I've been back 3 weeks now, I think, probably.
Yeah, I think.
I'm still getting like Las Vegas TikToks. Well, because when I was
Location
there,
based.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I was searching like a couple things, but when I was there, but that When We Were Young festival was there. Like, did you?
We
know
Were
about
Young
that?
festival?
When We Were Young, yeah, it was like My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Avril Lavigne.
Oh wow. This is
Sleeping
like a
with
big
Sirens, Kurt
festival.
Scott,
Then.
huge, 80,000 people. Yeah.
Those are big names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got tickets to go. Well, okay, so I saw, like, growing up, that was my shit. I went to concerts, like, since I was 16. Like, the Altar Bar is a place that used to be in Pittsburgh.
Dude, that's my very first concert I went to. My
Was
life
that
was
Altar
out
Bar?
there. Yeah.
That place is fucking nuts.
It is.
Yeah, and it's, like, if you ever stayed after a show or went too early, you got to see, like, that place was really small.
Yeah,
And it
very.
would fit so many freaking people in
Because you
there.
had like you'd walk in, there's that little spiral case
That went
that'd
up
be
to the top
upstairs
for
yeah.
21 and over, yeah. And then, like, down there, dude, they would cram people in there.
Yep.
But I would go to shows there, like, all the time. But those were, like, the bands I listened to, like Sleeping with Sirens, Pierce the Veil, all those kind of bands. And they were going to be there. So my sister and I, when it was announced, were like, we should go to this. And I'm like, it's in Vegas. Like, just fucking wrote it off, you know. Like, I'm not going to go there just for that. Then I went to, like, I can get into why I was there and stuff. It's a cool story. But I was there, and
In Vegas.
in Vegas, yeah. And it just came up, like, me and my friend were talking, and it came up, like, that festival was there. And I was like, oh, I think it's the next weekend. And it was the next day. I'm like, oh, my God. And the tickets, when they came out, it sold out. It was like, they were like $300. And we got tickets for like $125 because
For
people...
the whole festival.
For the day.
Oh, it's only a one
Yeah,
day.
so it was a 3-day festival, but it was the exact same
Oh,
line.
yeah. You can buy
exact
for
same
one day
lineup, yeah.
passes and stuff.
Most festivals
Yeah.
don't even do 1 day tickets anymore. They just do straight up 3 day. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta go the whole
I think
thing.
they use. I think they do it whenever it's like the day of that festival. It's like if the festival's
yeah.
coming up that day, it's like all right, you
They'll
can
do
do
that.
1 day or something like that.
Well, the difference between this and other festivals like Lollapalooza, because I left Chicago like 2 days before Lollapalooza and saw the lineup.
Damn.
There is like they have different headliners and different bands. This festival is the exact same lineup, exact same bands, exact same place, 3
every
days in a row.
day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you could buy a 1
That's
day
pretty
ticket.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good.
It was cool.
So it's the same concert, but like 3 days.
It
Exactly.
gives everybody
Yeah.
gives everybody
Damn.
a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
that's what's
did Saturday, Sunday, and then the next Saturday.
Ah.
So there were people that came in from, because I saw on like Twitter and TikTok, which is why I got into this. That's how this whole story intertwines of why I had Las Vegas shit. Was I was watching the TikToks on it because that morning, like we planned everything, all the bands, because there were 5 or 6 stages. They fucking canceled it that day.
Damn.
The festival, yeah.
For just that day.
Yeah, for Saturday because of wind. But it was, they didn't honor your ticket for the next day because they already sold 80,000 tickets and they couldn't fit any more people in there.
Damn.
And they sold them like 6-8 months in advance. And it was, they didn't, I don't know why, but they had it like that Sunday and then the following Saturday. So they couldn't honor your tickets at any point. So, but the bands ended up actually like doing little sideshows and stuff for free or like cheap. I didn't go to any of them, but they ended up like trying to make something out of it.
That's crazy. How many festivals have you been to?
None.
That's like your first like festival
Yeah, I
style.
don't.
You used to go to like Warped Tour?
Warped Tour, I've been to that a million times,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, I don't know if
That's
Wouldn't that
a
be
festival.
like the same
Yeah,
thing?
I
I was
was
about to
gonna say
ask.
that's a
That would kind of be like the same thing as that place
100%.
you went to is kind of like Warped Tour.
1,000%, because it would be the exact same structure. They had like 6 stages, different lineups, different times bands would be there, and they stayed pretty strict to that schedule. It was basically just like a localized Warped Tour.
That's awesome though.
But I went to like I probably went to like 10 Warped Tours throughout the years.
Oh, really?
And then they stopped having them. Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped. How many years ago did they stop doing?
It's been a
Warped Tour?
while, like 5 maybe.
Yeah,
5
that's what I
years
was
ago.
thinking.
Isn't there like a new like type of Warp Tour like, called something else now?
They do something in, I think they started doing something like Virginia Beach, but like Warped Tour would come to like every city. Like,
Yeah, because
you
I
could-
remember it coming to Pittsburgh
Yeah,
and stuff like when I
like
was
it-
like in middle school, high school.
Yeah, like there, like you could catch multiple of them. Like you could go to Columbus,
Yeah.
Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. They were all over the place.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Traveling
a lot
festival.
of cities.
It was every day. They would be a different place.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's nuts.
Didn't you go to the country music festival?
Best time of my life.
I was about to
dude,
say they're starting to get in the festivals.
No.
and that's awesome for that.
that I heard about that festival like a long time ago, and it was like the biggest country festival.
Is it what Myrtle
Myrtle
Beach,
Beach.
dude. It
I was down there.
unbelievable.
I was down there the one year. I'm pretty sure it was the year you went. I was down there 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was down there the weekend before it, and they were setting everything up for it.
Dude,
I like
it was so
Dude, you
that'd
get
be
the worst
such a-
FOMO.
that'd
Literally,
be-
yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
was-
such a good
even
time.
if you're not a country music fan, you just
Exactly,
go there.
that's
and
why I
just
wanna
chill,
go,
Dude, like
Isn't it one stage though?
there's,
Because it's literally in the middle of like.
it's huge, dude. It's like in the middle of like Myrtle Beach, like the boardwalk. But
Yeah.
there's like a main stage that's all the way up front, and then probably on
in that big
the left
field
side-
where that like beach volleyball pit is and that big
Yeah.
tower and stuff.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
like two stages on this side and then two stages on this side, and then throughout the day they like mix up like which stage
Yeah.
different artists are
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
They gotta
But,
like change crowds. So
Yeah. But once it gets like say 4 or 5 o'clock, dude, you walk in there, there's like 20, literally like almost 20,000 people just in this.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude, I would love. That's the biggest country festival in the nation.
Yeah.
It's
Dude,
like
it
looks
was-
so
Let's
much
go.
fun.
It was awesome.
I just went to my first one this year at Bonnaroo. That was insane.
Oh, I believe it. I remember like Blaine and Seth and all them went.
Yeah,
a couple
we
try to
years
convince
ago.
me to
Well, that's
go
why I
every
went with
year.
them. I went with them
Every
this year. It was crazy. The first day it was 100. The whole weekend was 107 degrees, and then the one time it
Oh my god.
it was like probably a little. It was probably like 100 degrees, but still
Still hot as
yeah.
hell.
The one day,
in Tennessee,
damn
right?
near
Yeah, it's in
storm.
Tennessee.
It's
Yeah.
like badly windstorm, tornado type shit, and they broke. We had 5 canopies, 4 of them broke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And we had 2 more
Damn.
days left of being down there because it's like you camp down there at Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
That's what I
So
love
that's the
about
best.
that
That is the
festival.
best
That is
part
a
about
really
it.
cool thing.
Because you go to any festival in this world besides probably Electric Forest, like you need to
Michigan,
pay for
right?
yeah, you're paying like $400 for the festival plus a hotel plus Ubers and all that other
Travel.
shit.
Yeah.
But I paid $400 to stay at the place I'm going to camp at and like party at and stuff like that. And
So do you have to just pay for your ticket, or do you have to pay
Yeah.
for like a little lot that you guys get to camp
so
on?
like if
Parking.
you have to pay for like a parking pass.
and you
but
get
that's,
your own
like,
specific like little area where
so
you guys can go.
you would
or-
like pull in and like your cars like line. It's like parking off the side of the road on the main street. So you would have cars lined up. So we had
Jesus.
4 cars worth lined up. This is
Oh,
all
so
of
like
our
that
spots.
whole
Yeah.
area was yours.
Yes.
then?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
like,
cool.
you would have your car, and then right next to it would be your like
like
camping
in the
area.
middle of a woods or like.
No, it's a giant field,
It's like a field.
like a
Damn.
farm field.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
It's
that's
awesome.
pretty sick.
It was the greatest. It's like it will be. It's like it's definitely the best experience I've ever been to in my life. But it
That's
sucks though
awesome.
because any festival I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna expect it to be like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm at the if I go
Yeah,
to like
you set the
Rolling
bar
Loud,
so
I'm
high.
paying $500 for a ticket plus my $200 for a
Airbnb.
hotel.
Yeah, dude.
I love Rolling Loud.
I would love to, but it's just like I paid $400 for all of that in one
No, I know.
one time, but now I have to pay $200 for a hotel, Ubers, food, all the other
I
expenses.
feel like
and
once you get
stuff.
into festival life, like you're gonna want to do it all.
yeah.
Because that's how I am. I
Well,
wanna
that's like
do
Yeah.
Bonnaroo was a
Yeah.
mix of everything. Bonnaroo was a mix of everything. So like I seen all types of genres and shit like that. It was crazy.
So who's like the headliner at those? Like, is it a big artist or?
Yeah, we seen Stevie Nicks was who sings Dreams. Fleetwood
Stevie
Mac.
Nicks is Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, she headlined. She was the very last act of the weekend.
Oh, wow.
So we seen.
That's so random. I feel like.
I know she came out to Dreams, and it was
That was
nuts.
a cool. People
yeah.
going nuts. I'm sure.
We had 21 Savage, J. Cole, Roddy Rich,
Oh,
Machine Gun
huge
Kelly.
names. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, huge names.
And then Flume, a lot of EDM stuff.
Christ.
Every stage was called this stage, that tent, this tent, and the other stage.
Yeah, that's how they named their.
That's how
stage.
they name it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, if I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, which stage we going? We're going to that stage.
That's
It's literally the name of the
hilarious.
stage.
Yeah, when you told me that.
So if
it
you're
was so
fucked up, if I'm fucked up trying to have a conversation, like,
Yeah.
we're going to that stage. Like, which one are you talking about? Like literally that stage. It was. But,
Yeah, because they usually name stages of sponsors.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
at Rolling Loud, there's like the Ciroc stage
I'm
and
sure-
like the
or, like, Monster
Modelo.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had a Monster Energy tent, like
Yeah.
which is like a stage in a tent. Like
it's crazy.
crazy.
Dude, at the country music festival thing, they had a Zen stand.
Oh,
so it was
really?
literally a trailer.
Yeah, all them sponsors just
Yo.
come in, set
We
up.
had-
It was literally a fucking trailer, and they just sell like Zen for like $1 a can in there, and they give away like a T-shirt and a
Oh
hat.
yeah, Jim had one. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We had like Tito's as a sponsor, Hulu, like all kinds.
So
of
big
yeah.
hitters. Damn.
Yeah, it's a big concert. It was a big
I
festival.
wonder how much it is to sponsor that shit.
Oh,
I
dude.
would-
I asked one of the food vendors there. They have to pay a fee to get into there, and that doesn't even mean that they're approved. Like they gotta pay, and then if they get approved,
Wow.
they get in there, and then like everything in there is all their profit. So if you get approved, profit's profit.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's a
wow.
lot of money you're making
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
But it was a good bit of fee. Like he said something like in thousands.
I'm gonna go print shirts.
I ain't even that bad. I'm
No,
not joking.
no,
That's not that bad.
it ain't that bad. If you stock up
I
in
mean, I
your
was
food
thinking,
truck,
like, really like 10 grand on it. Is probably what I was thinking more so.
Probably.
Have you ever done something like that before? Like
Thought about
a
doing,
festival, like a
I would love like
fair comes
pop
around.
up?
You
What
were
about
like
pop-up?
a pop up right there.
we've done like tournaments, like wrestling tournaments. We'll print shirts at them, and we'll do some. We have a couple lined up right now this year. That's something I want to get into more and kind of. That's something. It's part of the business definitely, and like the money is all used.
It's like a marketing tool.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people like put a face to a business, but also like it's something that I can like. We even like spitball the idea of Manny and his girlfriend doing it because like I still coach wrestling, so like I can't be there at all of them. So like him and his girlfriend, and it's just a different, completely. It's part of the business, but it's a completely different structure where like there can be way more profit sharing and something like that, opposed to like an everyday shop where there's like a ton of bills and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, like a retail shop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Wait, you coach wrestling? Oh my god, that's crazy. Well, wait, you coach wrestling? Man, you coach wrestling too?
Still do, brother.
Little bit.
Yeah.
You
Little
coach for W&J, right? Or you do
So-
Bentworth too?
So I was supposed to coach for W&J, and then probably like a week or two before I was supposed to start everything, our coach, like the old coach, resigned and got a new job up in New York, Cortland State. So I was gonna roll with it, see how everything worked out, and then work started picking up. And then like I talked to the new coach, who's a great coach, like cool guy, great guy. But like what the old coach wanted me to do and the new coach wanted me to do is just too much, like with work and then wrestling. I decided to just resign from there and then just work here more, like I get more hours, and then I'm actually going to coach at Bentworth now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that something that
So-
like kind of like hurt you or anything? Like, did you like feel any type of way about that? Like, just
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, I was sad. I mean, that's like coming out of college, like, so I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do.
As
But I knew
everybody.
for sure that I wanted to stay in like wrestling world,
Yeah.
like coach. Like, I don't know. I knew that like wrestling was gonna come to an end someday, but I still wanted to coach because like even when I was still in college, I would go and help out at Bentworth and stuff, and like I've talked to the wrestlers and like knowing that I actually had some kind of impact on them.
Yeah.
Oh, you both were like really good wrestlers. Like really.
Decent.
Manny was better than me, man.
Like you guys are
I know,
really, you
though.
guys are pretty good wrestlers.
Keep that in.
Yeah, like I know I didn't go to high school obviously, but like I know Manny, you were.
You guys are
How
definitely.
many times?
Thank
How many
you.
times you go to states?
Three
Three.
times, yeah.
How many times
sophomore.
did you go?
It's a big zero, big fat zero.
Oh, sorry.
You guys
No,
are
it's
definitely
okay.
great mentors, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what I wanted to like do is like just because I knew growing up, like when I was younger, and I would like work out with all these high school guys, and they would like help me and stuff like that. Like it felt great for me. Like I was like hanging out with them, and like Sam was actually my junior high coach, and that's how you asked the question earlier how I got to know Sam. He was my junior high coach, and then from there we just became friends. But like just like the older guys helping me out and like knowing that like they were there for me, like that's who I wanted to be. And like just like because I'm like I knew I was decent, and I knew like I could help like the younger generation. Like that's just what I wanted to do. I just wanted to just have an impact, and I don't know, I just want to stay in the sport because
yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, you want to be a part of it, even though it came to an end,
yeah.
and like you probably didn't realize like how fast it came to an end.
Oh,
Like at the
dude,
time it
so
happened,
quick.
like,
It's heartbreaking too, yeah, for sure. Cause like I was gonna go to WVU, like I went to WVU
For wrestling?
for like a day. No, fuck no.
Oh, okay.
That's D1. No, that's
Okay.
like yeah, like none of us are. All four of us combined aren't good enough to wrestle at WVU. Like
D1's like
D1's
crazy.
so,
wrestling.
yeah,
I got
like-
D1 offers,
true,
3 of them.
true, but being very nice would it have panned out?
Oh fuck no,
Like,
definitely not.
Right, like yeah,
Fuck no.
you'd have been riding the pine.
Oh, without a
D1,
doubt,
yeah.
without a doubt.
I wish you would have. I would take credit for it. I'd be
Yeah,
like, I
that'd be
coached him.
fucking sick.
What D1 offers did you? What schools were they?
Gardner Webb, Lock Haven, and Georgia Mason.
What was the reason of not choosing D1?
Like we know
I
what
don't
it
know.
is. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like
there,
tough.
like for
Like-
real. Like there's like wrestling, right? And then like everybody who wrestles is like typically an okay athlete. And then you have like the people that are good at wrestling that usually go like D3 or D2 even. But then you have like great wrestlers. Like a
Like-
kid that he wrestled all the time, like a 4-time state champ, which there's only been like 15 ever, like didn't even pan out. Like it's just, that's how
Wow.
it goes.
Like I made it to states 3 times. The guys who are going to D1 are like
Winning
making
3
it to
times.
states 4 times and placing 4 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like high, like top 5.
Yeah, and like even like some of like the best wrestlers in the nation are backups still.
Yeah.
Like right now at schools. It's just how it
Jeez.
is. It's a super competitive sport because
I was about to say,
there's
yeah.
14 open spots, you know. Or,
And then it's
10.
only like
oh, for
10 in
college,
college.
yeah,
In
10
college,
open
10,
spots for
yeah.
college.
10 college.
Yeah.
So,
So
if
what-
you have 30 kids on a team, like you're at least 3 deep at every weight.
Yeah.
what so like after college, like for wrestling, what is there to do after college? Like, and obviously Olympics would be an option, but like besides that, is there
Coach. That's it.
Coach and
coaching?
like,
Okay.
yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it.
Because so I was gonna go to WVU, fucking hated it.
I would never go to WVU. Never. I
was-
could
I
never
hate
go.
WVU.
Was
Yeah,
talking
I could
to
not go
yeah,
down
like
there.
I'm glad I didn't. My life would be so much different. But talking to the coach who left that Manny brought up, he was my coach, and then I wrestled there for 2 years, prepping a kid for nationals. Straight up like fucked my head up, like really bad concussion, like chipped my jaw and everything. Couldn't remember anything at all. Like would go to class, straight up failed tests, everything. Had to go to like a concussion doctor. Had no baseline, which is like a huge fucking thing now that like you have to have a baseline test. So they had nothing to base how bad my concussion was off of that. So like still today don't know how bad it was. I mean I'm here, so it must have been okay. But
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. But like that ended my competitive career, and then I had the opportunity. The coach, I already was coming in to like work out with them. There's a new rule now that like you can't go coach if you are within 4 years of graduating, just because they don't want like high school kids mingling with kids they went to school with.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah, it makes 100%
yeah,
sense. A lot.
big rule the school we went to, but I don't know that it's necessarily a rule everywhere, but definitely where we
Probably
went.
not.
Yeah.
You're talking about
They're
high school
kinda
or
strict.
college?
Yeah, high school.
Okay.
Yeah. So at this time that wasn't a rule. I mean, you guys, I am older. There's
How old?
Yeah. How
Yeah,
old
yeah.
are you, Sam?
30 on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Like literally when I was in school, like there was a bomb threat and they took all of the stalls off of the shitters.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
Like,
Wait,
doors.
that's the
We
reason
had no
why?
doors.
That's the reason
I've heard
why?
about that.
I thought it was
Yes.
for
Oh,
like
that's-
some stupid reason. Like they were fucking
some
with them.
kid wrote it, and like we literally like if you had to take a shit, you had to shit, and just people would walk in. And
Because I remember when a freshman year, I remember one of the stalls still didn't have a door on
yeah,
it.
they were
Yeah.
all like that, and also like I mean like showering in the same fucking vicinity as a coach was very normal, and like now that's like
No.
no, you don't do that.
Times have changed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
times have changed majorly. Like we would go to tournaments and like the coaches would be in there and shit. Like there'd be kids showering. Like it's just how it was, you know. And then
Not in college though.
no, in high school.
Yeah.
In high school. But so I was coaching. I started like helping out a little bit his 7th grade year, and then the coach he moved back east, I think, right, somewhere a couple hours
I have
away.
no
Yeah.
fucking clue where that guy
So I have no idea where that fucking guy lives.
Damn.
He was leaving, and I had the opportunity to come coach junior high, which was a paid position. It was like $3,500, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, why
Like in
not?
college, like hell yeah, this is something I can do. It's like 2 hours a day. This is great. Just like extra income. Something I always wanted to do. I love working out, always have, wanted to stay in shape. So coached him 8th grade year. I met him actually in my senior year. You were in like 4th grade at Camp Benefit.
Yeah, something like that.
I had like
It's
some
young.
like community service hours I had to do for like some scholarship and for like Leo Club or something like that. And
So it's pity.
that's how I met him and
Your only
Chris was
friends
there.
out of
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, I mean Maria probably was too.
I don't remember meeting Maria then, but I definitely met Chris and Manny then, and I was like, this
Did
kid,
you guys go to Camp Benefit?
Did not.
No.
What's that?
It was like a summer camp thing. It was like in high school you got like community service hours that would help for like scholarships and shit to run this camp that was like dodge. Well, like we went to like the zoo and shit like that, but like you'd like go play dodgeball or like play football or like.
Yeah,
Never heard of
It was
it.
just
Never
like
did that
it was just a
before.
camp.
Yeah,
Yeah,
heard
like,
of it.
it was pretty cool, honestly, and it was like a good gauge to learn if you like kids, I guess. I mean, I think that everybody should have to do it now. There'd probably be less teen pregnancy on.
Honestly,
Like,
That is true.
Yeah,
you
like-
realize what you gotta deal with. It's like,
Right.
fuck, I don't need this no more.
And that's just like I don't even know, like 4 or 6 hours a day, maybe something like that.
probably not even.
Probably, yeah, it was probably like 12 to 4 or something,
Yeah,
something like
that.
that. I don't really remember. But that's when I first met him, and I was like, this kid's funny. I think Seth, dude, that was the first time I met
Seth
Seth.
Mitchell, yeah.
I remember,
Seth Mitchell.
dude, Seth would be like,
Seth
was
was on the pod.
dude,
He was on the pod.
What's up, Seth? But he would be like, I just remember him being like, something went wrong one time. He was like, motherfucker. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I was like, what did you say? And then he was like laughing because he was like, I mean, he's like kind of shy, but he was like, motherfucker. And I was like, this kid fucking rules. Like, I was like 18. I was like, this is the funniest shit ever. So I just remember those two the most. I'm like, these kids are fucking well, Chris too. I remember I was like, these kids are fucking cool. And then when I started coaching, it was him, Seth, and Chris. I was like, holy shit,
Seth
this
wrestled?
is crazy. Yeah,
What?
Seth was
Dude,
good.
Seth was
yeah,
good.
Seth was like
Did he
good.
wrestle?
I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't
he
think-
stopped before high school. Dude, me and
Like
Seth,
8th grade year, huh? Yeah.
whenever me and Seth were in the youth, the coach would literally take me and Seth into the corner and just let us literally beat the shit out of each other.
Dude, Seth was good.
we would get into fucking brawls.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But I started coaching them, and it was a pretty cool spot I was in because I was the head coach of the junior high with no assistant. So like when we went to tournaments and we had a bigger team, it fucking sucked because I would have to figure out how to coach these, like, you know, a kid would be wrestling on this mat and then I have a kid coming up on this mat. Like they'd have to hold the match. I'm like, I can't be in 2 places at one time. I don't know what you want me to do. So I like didn't have any help there. But then I would also be an assistant to the high school. So I would go in and work out with them when they went to high school, but I like wasn't their coach, which is definitely what led us to more of a friendship because like I don't ideally want to be friends with the kids I coach just because like they're still in high school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's not like that big of an age gap between us, and at that time like technically I wasn't his coach anymore. So that's just he would come lift with me like throughout the summer, and we did I think he maybe worked for Dave a little bit then.
Yeah.
Like in high school.
Yeah,
My
through summer.
stepdad like doing some construction.
Hunterwood.
And then yeah, just like working out. I don't know that we really did. Maybe a little bit of wrestling outside of that. Probably not much.
Like I don't think we ever did.
Mostly, I know for sure we were like lifting all the time.
Yeah.
He like this
Definitely
is
a
like
lot of
before he could
lifting.
drive. Yeah,
Yeah.
like your mom would bring you.
She dropped me off at the bottom of the driveway
Yeah,
and I'd
my
fucking
mom's
walk
driveway
up.
is tough. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
It's all gravel,
Literally
isn't it?
horrible. Dude,
Not
it
not
goes
this
like
driveway,
this.
a different driveway.
Oh, okay.
My mom's, yeah. And yeah, we just became more friendly, and then like his senior year is probably your junior year, but senior year is when we became like close.
Yeah.
It was cool too, like my first opportunity to kind of see somebody that like I genuinely cared about grow up and like becoming a person and like
Yeah, it's very
you know
cool.
not
Like a
be-
big brother.
yeah, like and like not being just like another kid I coached. It was like I got to know his family. Like at
Yeah,
that,
he
like-
probably looked up to you like
That's-
throughout
Oh
those
yeah,
years.
without a
So-
doubt. Without a doubt.
and like that I got to like I think your senior year is probably when I like first came over and like met the like I knew them from like wrestling. Like
Wrestling
I knew
and
like
stuff like
Ron,
that,
Maria,
yeah.
and Georgia and everybody. And like I coached Chris even another year after you. He stayed back and wrestled for me.
Yeah,
He wrestled junior high.
Yeah.
But then from there, like I went to like his mom. It was actually for BeTheWondering. So to go back to that, I was still writing a lot and like doing a bunch of different topics. They're still up there. I had like a whole write section. So I did like travel reviews where I did like shows and like movies. I did like writing, which was just like I like poetry and writing poetry, so I would write poems. And then I did just like some weird prompts that I thought were interesting. I did like we were talking about TikTok. I did the epidemic of distractedness, and I just talked about, like, even before TikTok came out, just how social media was like so addicting. But I did a prompt that was a night in Greece is what it was called, and I like experienced everything that I could about the Greek culture, because Manny's family is Greek, and his mom like speaks the language, and his grandmother's like from there, live there. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, so it was really cool for me to learn all about that. So like I went to church with them. Was it Easter? Easter, yeah. So Easter is like their like biggest holiday, and I learned all about that. And
Is it a different date, time of year?
Week. Yeah, it's like so traditional Easter is like the week before like Greek Easter. So like Orthodox Easter.
Okay.
but it's like
It's-
a week long in their culture. It's
Yeah,
not like
so
just a
we
day.
go to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do like different a lot of stuff that like I've never experienced before in like any culture or anything. It was really cool to experience and just meet a lot of different people. I met like a lot of their friends that they grew up with through like the Greek church and that kind of stuff, and the different families. And then his mom did a whole Greek night. It was extravaganza. It was awesome. It was like so much food. I don't even know. She did like 10 different Greek dishes. I swear. It was like,
It was literally just him coming over.
yeah, just me.
That's cool of you to do that, though.
It was
like, Just
awesome.
experience their like
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, if you've
Learn
met,
a lot from it too.
yeah, for sure. Like if you've met his family, they're like, I mean, it's just like mine. Like him, I always say this, like his mom, my mom, and my other friend Michael's mom, they're like all three my mom. Like it's just
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
they're the same person, like just in
I
a
know what you
different
mean.
form. But they're like, it was just like so inviting from the first time I came over, and like,
This whenever you two first like started like becoming
yeah,
friends
like
and stuff like that?
outside of
My
it,
senior
yeah. This
year.
was after
Yeah.
wrestling season. It would have been April, right?
Yeah, something like
Some,
that.
well, Easter is April, right?
Greek night
Yeah.
was in January.
Okay,
So it was, like, mid-season.
Yeah, and then like regionals.
I
came
remember-
up to
no,
watch
it was,
regionals
like,
and stuff.
I remember this because I had kidney stones and I couldn't wrestle with this fucking. I couldn't wrestle with this tournament that weekend. We were trying to figure out how to get like through it without telling the coach.
Bro, you
and
could have
AD.
just came to me.
So it was like
I could have walked you through
You're a
that.
kidney stone boy.
Oh, you ask him. I've
You
been getting him
stoned
since
up.
I've been getting him since I was 13.
so it was like January
That
because
sounds
we were
about
always
right,
sitting
yeah.
there trying to figure out how I can get away with it without telling.
Was it after Christmas?
Yeah, yeah.
Was that the first time we did that? Like
It was
game?
like
Remember the game thing?
with the
The
unwrapping
dice?
presents.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
that then? Was that when we started it?
No, you came. So that was like Christmas. That was before Christmas.
Okay.
And then this was like maybe January 3rd.
Okay, something like
Something
that.
like that,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and then I did the dinner, and I wrote. You can still read it. It's on the website. I wrote all about the experience and everything, and went to their home church, which is in Aliquippa, and then I went to the Cannonsburg church, and
All Saints.
yeah, I met the different, are they pastors? I don't know.
Priests.
Fathers, yeah,
Yeah.
priests, yeah. I met the different ones, and yeah, it was a really cool experience. But then from there, just, I mean, if I'm speaking for you, interrupt me, but at that time, you were like pretty undecided on college. I think you were pretty heavily considering Gannon.
I was between Gannon, Mercyhurst, and W&J. I liked all three of them equally. But,
And the other two are D2, and W&J is D3.
yeah. I wasn't sure, like, I didn't really care about the divisions thing. Like, do you
I was
want
just
Yeah,
about to
D2,
ask that.
D3,
Did that have
yeah.
a factor into your decision at all?
Not really. I mean,
D2 and D3 compete like in every event together, really. Like if you go to a D3,
Yeah.
you go to a D3 tournament, D2 teams are there, and vice versa. You go to a D2 tournament, D3 team. And
So
there's
do you think like people that are in D3 are like pissed off, like, oh fuck, we gotta play W&J, or we have to face W&J today, like shit like that, or is it like
no.
they just like the skill level is still there between both
Oh,
D2
yeah,
and D3?
without
Yeah.
doubt. Like,
You
everyone,
can have D3 kids beating the shit out of D2
100%,
kids.
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
assumes
100%.
that D3 is like lower tier than like D2.
You're still playing college sports.
But like, I mean, yeah, that. But like, the amount of D3 schools compared to D2 schools is unbelievable.
way
I believe
more.
it.
Like we
Yeah,
have,
way
like,
more.
I think we had a duel my senior year with like, it was two.
What's I'm sorry, what's a duel exactly?
So just like say W&J and just another school are wrestling each other.
Oh, okay.
For starters.
Like opposed to like an individual tournament where you wrestle
Wouldn't that
like
just be like a regular match then?
Yeah, so
okay,
a
yeah.
duel, yeah.
okay.
But you can
oh,
go
that's
like
what it's called.
even
oh,
like
okay.
even like dual tournaments. Like it would just be like W&J versus another team,
But then the winner would play
another
the
team.
like a
wrestle
okay,
another team.
I got you.
But
exactly.
we had a duel at W&J with like, so it was us and like 3 other D2 teams, and we beat every single one of them. Yeah, so like everyone thinks that D2 is like superior
It's
to
not,
D3.
yeah.
So wait, is
But it's
W&J
not.
D what?
D3.
They are D3.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. I figured
But,
they would be D2. Honestly,
No, it's a small school.
Okay.
Honestly,
Small,
yeah, it's
yeah.
very.
I
I
gotcha.
graduated with like 380 people.
really?
It's
Okay.
small. It's like
Damn near like
the size
fucking
of-
Bentworth.
It's like Trinity, like literally.
Yeah.
Honestly, Cannon Mac's fucking bigger than W&J.
Yeah, that's
For real.
okay.
That's crazy.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
Like
that.
the decision making for college was just like, for some reason, like when I was in, like graduating, I didn't really think of like moving away from home. And then I realized like, if I go to school up at like Gannon or Erie, or Gannon or Mercyhurst, like, do I really want to live in Erie for
Yeah.
4 years?
Yeah, you're gonna be far.
Far
Weather
snow
sucks.
The weather fucking
is
blows,
fucking
yeah.
horrible, dude.
Yeah.
And then I'd just like in high school, like my senior year, I'd go to practice at W&J, and I fell in love with the coach, the facility, like literally,
The environment around you and everything.
yeah, everything. Like I became friends, like the guys who I'm still friends with, who graduated 2 years before me. I knew them like I was a freshman, like I was going in there, like they knew me, for like years.
That was something like I was pushing for hard because I was familiar with it and like knew that he'd be a good fit there. I became really close with the coach.
So you had did you have not persuade, but you had like, and it, like you gave
You
him
had
input
influence.
on like
I
your
think a little
decision.
bit, yeah, a little
Like
bit.
you
for
asked him
sure.
his advice on like, should I go here?
And,
not?
like,
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, like Prairie, the coach would, I think probably was already talking to you maybe, but like I remember I like put it in his ear like from the jump. I'm like, you want this kid, you know? Like
No, I remember at regionals my freshman year, I talked to Prairie, and then someone came up to me and was like this is freshman year before like coaches are like even allowed to look at you or like
In high
recruit
school.
you or anything. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
you're not.
wow.
They're not allowed to talk to you until June of
Junior
your
year.
going into your junior year.
Really?
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
remember my freshman year, someone came up to me and was like, I heard W&J coaches already trying to recruit you, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, I know.
He's like, yeah, that's me. What's up?
Give me something.
Yeah,
crazy, though.
but so the coach's first year was my freshman year, so that was a cool experience because
You
like
were wrestling at W&J too? Were you wrestling?
yeah,
Okay.
I wrestled WNJ too. Yeah, so automatically just became like closer because the sophomores, juniors, and seniors already were there. They like knew the faculty and staff, knew the program running through another coach. Where like I didn't know anybody, so we were coming into this new together. So that's just got to know him like. But it's just that feeling of like, you know, we're like in this together. It's a new beginning.
awesome.
So, and then we just like became friends outside of wrestling as well. Would like go golfing and that kind of shit. And
yeah.
Hunter Neely, like
I was just about to bring that up too because I know he went there too.
I'll take a little bit of credit for Manny, but like I'll take all the credit for Hunter. Like Hunter wasn't gonna go to college.
Oh, really?
Straight up, like
No, yeah, he
didn't even go the first semester to college, and I was like, "You're fucking going to college." Yeah, I like had him. His mom like dropped. So the place I worked was in Washington, like right beside the courthouse. Like his mom like dropped him off, and I can't remember like to me or at W&J, but like I met them there and introduced him to the coach and was like, "You're wrestling here," type of thing.
Yeah, because he was also a really good wrestler too.
Yeah,
really good
I mean,
wrestler too.
Resume,
Better than
yeah,
both of us,
he's
yeah.
better than us, yeah, for sure.
How many times did he make states? Did he make all 4 years?
He made states.
Yeah,
once
like, that's
in high
not-
school.
Well, I feel like it depends on the
It's
weight
not
class
a good
too.
question,
Class.
honestly. Yeah.
Really?
It's
Okay.
not. And I no, like I get it. Like you don't know it, but like me now, like I would fucking snap myself in half in high school. Like
Yeah.
how I was in high school
Yeah,
is
that
like
makes
I was
sense, yeah.
dog shit compared to what I learned in
I get
college.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's where you get good. And like even
Yeah.
for Manny, like watching
Well,
his
yeah,
progression.
because there's like you're also training completely different from high
way
school
different.
too.
I mean, even like the competition, but even like an actual match is different. Like in high school, it's 2-2-2, and like in college, the first period is 3 minutes. And even though like a minute doesn't sound crazy, like
Yeah.
it's a year.
Unbelievable.
Like you're used to say you're
You're
like,
going 4 years or even longer doing what you said, a 2-2-2.
2-2-2, yeah.
So, and then you're going to a completely different standard.
dude,
you know.
it's like you wrestle
Unbelievably.
like in high school, you'll be wrestling, and like I still experience this because I still wrestle at practice and stuff. When we do a live go, you'll look up and you're like, oh, I got 40 seconds left. I'm gonna coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
when college, that same minute and 20 that you look up, you're like, I have a minute and 40.
And you're playing
like it's
against
basically
someone,
a whole nother period. You're like, what the fuck?
and you're playing against someone that actually like they're
Someone
there for a
who knows
reason.
what
They're
they're
playing
doing.
college.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's
It's
crazy.
It's a
It was
whole new
horrible,
world.
dude. Horrible.
Yeah.
I remember my first college match, dude.
I'm about to say, how was that transition over to high school to college? Like,
It's a whole different world. Yeah,
Yeah,
it really. Even
how
like
long did it take to transition over and get used to it?
couple
So like,
tournaments.
so my first tournament was fucked, all the way fucked. I went to like, so it was in King's College. I remember my first match, dude. Like, I just poured it on this kid in the first period. Just went like balls to the wall, dude, just as hard as I can go. And then it's like in the middle of like the first period, I was like, took him down, let him up, took him down, let him up like twice. And then I looked up at the clock and there's still like a minute and 30 left.
And you're just like,
And I
Yeah.
completely gassed out. Like I couldn't even fucking breathe, dude. And then this kid, he ended up fucking pinning me in like the beginning of the second period
sucks.
because I just,
You just went crazy,
Couldn't,
and then
yeah.
you were gassed by the end of it.
yeah, so you have to learn like how to pace yourself. Like, and it's like completely different rules between high school and college. Like
So what's a 2-2-2 exactly?
two
minutes, so
first
two-
period, second period,
in
and
third period.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like, what's college then?
3-2-2.
minutes.
3-2-2.
Yeah,
3-2-2.
3-2-2.
So
Yeah.
okay.
And you always start the beginning of the match neutral, which is like your standing.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah.
takedown, and then like second period, you can go like top, bottom, neutral.
I can go all day asking
That
the role,
world-
like
that
the rules, because
world-
like
yeah.
I've never
That world to me, never even experienced that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
Never
what-
seen
my mom. My
anything
mom like did not care about any sport I played, but she told me I was not allowed to wrestle. That was the
Really?
only sport I was
No
not. I don't
shit.
I
understand
feel
why,
like
'cause
wrestling. I feel like
You
just
learn- you can
looking
learn-
outside in. Like I feel like wrestling could form you for every other sport around.
Oh, dude, like that.
Dude,
like I can.
without a doubt.
I
we
feel like a
we
wrestler
have a
could
whole
be a good
podcast on
football
that.
player.
100%.
No, yeah, a wrestler can be a great.
Like I
football
feel like
player.
that shapes you to you could do whatever.
Certain
Yeah,
sports
dude.
have that second sport that they can be good at too. Like like a quarterback is good at pitching, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, that's
typically.
Yeah.
that's crazy. I
But
didn't know that.
it's like the lifestyle of wrestling for both of us is just like so important. And like, other than us just making friends with wrestlers, like we absolutely surround ourselves with them. And honestly, like when I got my first job, the guy that owned the company was wrestlers too. And like, that's what he said. He's like, us wrestlers have to stick together. And like, I just took it as like a brush off comment, but like now I understand what he
What
means.
a coincidence.
It's just like,
Yeah.
it's such a fucking mindset. And like, it's true. Like once you do that, like everything else is easy. Like
Yeah.
it really is that. Like it sucks.
Dude, it is.
I love the
so, like,
sport, but it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I feel like
dude.
it's
so hard.
draining. It's like
It's so
mentally,
hard.
physically draining because like
horrible, dude.
so I remember times
You
like
used
there's
to you used to complain about making weight and like.
that's all
stuff
I'm about
like
to
that.
Dude,
say
so
is like
hard.
making
Yeah.
weight
In
is like
fucking
so
high school-
hard because like you can a weight just 1 pound can just like you're just fucking dead after like
Sometimes
trying
you
to get
don't-
that weight off.
Dude,
Like
in
you would
high
think a
school-
pound, but sometimes like you don't have that pound. Like it's like,
In high school, I was a pussy. Like I had no clue what cutting weight
yeah,
was.
you cut like
I
4
had-
pounds, and you're like, oof.
I would cut like 5 pounds in high school, and I'd be like, "Man, this sucks." Like I would go to the nurse's office just so I didn't have to eat during lunch. And then like during college, I'm like my last tournament that I wrestled at, I literally cut from 145 pounds to 125 pounds in
Yikes.
5 days.
With,
What
like,
were you
nothing to
wrestling in
cut.
high school?
In high school, I wrestled 106, 113, 113, and then 120, which is like nothing. Like I didn't, like I said, I cut like 5 pounds.
What did you wrestle in high school?
Really similar path, honestly. What were you, 6, 13, 13?
6, 13, 13, 20.
And I was
Well, you said 13.
113.
113
What's it? What do you?
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah, like 113. You said it twice. Like 1.
2
Yeah,
years.
so-
Sophomore-
you
sophomore
said.
junior
Oh,
year.
okay.
Yeah,
I thought you
sophomore
meant
junior.
like there's like okay. I
No,
got it. Okay, my
yeah.
fault. My fault.
I was 112, 125, or no, 112, 119, 125, 130. So
in
like
high school, what did you do in high school? Like
What-
or not high school, college.
college,
Yeah.
149 both years.
Okay.
Yeah, I shot up. Yeah, I like really learned how to lift pretty much. Like I always like kind of worked out and stuff. Like my dad was a bodybuilder, so like I've like always been around gyms and in gyms and stuff. But like that's when I like got like actually started lifting.
Okay.
You know, like doing like 2 plates and that kind of shit, like
Gotcha.
on a bench.
I wish I could do that.
So all these years of you guys, colliding in worlds,
Yeah.
it leads you all to here right now. Like,
Yeah, how
how
did
did this building come apart? How did he become like a part of your vision and
Yeah,
business.
yeah, yeah.
Already.